Hello and welcome to video 7. In this video we are going to show you how to edit the fan page template that we've provided in this training course. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Out of the chute you can see there's quite a bit there. I'm going to explain all of it thoroughly. The first bit here is this is an image. It's really a call to action to get visitors, Facebook users to like your page. This is just a blank stock image. Obviously it's meant to be replaced or have images laid over it with maybe your logo, generic stock vectors, something like that, with maybe just some business people on it or products. Whatever kind of fits your business model and the message you're trying to convey on this fan page template, that's what you would want to put there. Below that you see full set of social icons, RSS feed if you wanted to include that, and then it gets into some content. This here is a stylized it's called an H tag or header tag, and what that is it's just going to be a little bit bigger font, bolded. It's obviously, you can see it's got this gray background color, so it sets it apart from the rest. It's something more that you use to make a statement or to make a sub point, news section, things like that. Then you see here we just got dummy text. That is just can be replaced, and it's I believe standard sizing, so that shouldn't be an issue. In the middle, these dummy images can be used for what I call to action buttons, linking to either other tabs within your fan page template, or they can link off to your website. So you're going to want to replace these, and you may be thinking, gosh, I don't know how to design graphics, things like that. You could jump on a freelancer site and get these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many images done for very, very cheap. Depending on what exactly you're asking. If you're just asking them to overlay logos and things on existing graphics that you're sending them, then it's going to be really cheap. $30-40 you'll be able to get this thing customized and styled with images that will fit your business. Other than that, you could pick it up yourself. You could do changes in Microsoft Paint. You could dive into Photoshop. That's entirely up to you. We're not really going to get into that in this training course. But below these two call to action buttons, we've got some more text. This can all be changed out. You could get rid of these boxes. Add full text in here. It's really quite dynamic in the sense that you can do whatever you want with it. And then here's this is just an explanation of the title tags. Here, this is the font and size of the H1 tag. You can see it's got dots as styling underneath it. H2 tag is the one that we saw above with the gray background, a little bit bigger font. And then H3 tag, just about the same size as this, but as the regular text. So that's a brief overview of the template. Let's look at starting to make some changes. So here we are. We've now opened up this index.html. We've opened that up in Notepad. And we've opened up style.css in Notepad. Now ignore all those. Index.html, style.css. That's us. So let's look at this first. The reason why I like Notepad++ is it makes it super easy for you to understand the differences in code. Very first line, number 1, goes all the way down, just again. So line 1 is basically calling the style.css file on your server. What I mean by that is wherever you end up putting the styles folder with the style.css file in it on your server, you got to change the file path. href or href is normally always the location. Actually, it is always the location. It's always the link or the location. So let's say our file path is mydomain.com /styles. Okay, so now let's take this, copy it, because we're going to be reusing it as we go along. But the first thing we're going to do is change that out, okay, with our file path. And let me take a quick step back, because if you don't read the the written instructions, then I'm going to need to kind of coach you through the easiest way to get this edited and uploaded. So first thing you're going to want to do, so we're going to take a step back here. Images folder. This, you're going to want to open up FileZilla or whatever FTP software you're using. You're going to want to upload this. The bottom line is you're going to upload this images folder to the directory or area on your server that you want it to be hosted at. Once you've done that, you copy down that file path, and that allows us to make the next changes, which the very first changes you should make should actually start in the style.css. Reason why is because with this template, there is no calls to images within the image folder, but most of them there are. And if you make changes to this, they're most likely going to make changes within this style.css, which would mean that you've now got to add your file path to something that looks like this, images/image name. Okay, so in this case, there is nothing that needs to be changed with this out of the gates, but most likely if you customize this template or have somebody do it for you, then there's going to be changes made to this. So be aware of that. So now we've got the images folder all uploaded on our server. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to upload the styles folder with the style sheet in it to the same location or the same directory as the images folder. So in the directory tree, you should see an images folder and a styles folder. Okay? Now, of course, that's after you've made any changes to file paths that may need to be changed in here. Okay, so after that, you come back here, and this is when you would start making the changes here. You would add in your file paths. So you could just, I'll show you an automatic way to do this, but I'll do it manually because there's not very many. Come in here and just make all these changes down the line. Okay, so you do that to every single instance to where you see image src or image source. You would add in your link to the directory in which you've uploaded that folder on your server. Okay? And so after we've made those changes, we're in a good position to now start changing the text. Okay, so at this point we've got the images being called from the right spot on your server. We've got all that information uploaded onto your server. So now let's start changing out some text and changing out images if you want to. Okay, so now we have, title here. Let's just say this is John's Business. We've got all this dummy text that can all be changed to help you further understand what your boundaries are to editing this text. You're going to see this P tag. And what that is that's just paragraph or generalized text. So if you highlight it and follow it all the way down, see if it'll let me go all the way down. As you follow this down, you're going to see a closing tag. Everything will have an open and closing tag, and it's not going to do it, and it's just going to get annoying. So let's just try and delete out a big chunk of this and see if we can finish it up here. There's just a ton of it. But anyways, let's wrap this up so that I can paste something else in here. Okay, there it is. So you never want to get rid of the closing tag because, once again, if you look at it, scrolled over, we have opening paragraph, closing paragraph, opening H2 tag, closing H2 tag. Opening image, closing image. So keep that in mind. You never want to delete too much. And so you should always, everything's color coordinated. Let that be your guidelines or your boundaries. All right, so just putting in some dummy text here, just showing you exactly how easy it is to change this stuff out. Depending on what you're using this fan page template for, you would, put in the text there. You would want to make sure that it doesn't have, you can add in additional HTML, but just be careful of where you're copying and pasting this text from. Microsoft Office likes to add in its own extra little characters in the HTML, so you're going to want to watch again where you're copying and pasting it from. So this is really the main content area here. These are everything's well commented out, meaning that this little green text you see here is kind of telling you what's going on before it even happens. So you see start content, header image, social media icons, content image 1 and 2, That is, okay, there it is. That is 1 and 2. The header image was this, the social media icons here. This was the dummy text we just changed out. So all of that is pretty easy to kind of go back and forth and figure out. Here's the title tags that I pointed out, H1, H2, H3. Obviously that's just there for demo purposes. You'd get rid of all that. You can change out the company name for the branding at the bottom for the copyright, excuse me. And let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the text. It's pretty self-explanatory from top to bottom. The biggest thing you're going to deal with is if you're not good with graphics, you're going to want to get somebody on board to change those graphics out for you, add in logos, things like that. Style sheet, that's going to be the styling. If you wanted to get rid of the border, you would just get rid of that line there. If you wanted to change how the content, the font that was used, you could change that there. The font size. This is all just really basic CSS stuff that you could just Google and find some awesome tutorials on. The H2, that light tan, or excuse me, that light gray, rather, that's behind there. Behind H2 tag, you could get rid of that. That's that right there. The P, which is paragraph text, you could change font there, the size. H3 tags, H1 tag, again, social media, you could change the positioning of it, the footer, and the footer text. So it's simple enough to be able to have any range of user use this and edit it, you know, anywhere from novice to expert. So that's, now we've covered the style sheet editing, the index.html editing. We have uploaded the images folder and styles folder to your server. At this point, what you would do is, now all this text is changed, you would highlight everything in the index.html file. You would copy it, and then what you would do is you'd come back over here, and here we are back at our profile. You'd go to the application that we created earlier, which is the Welcome tab, or whatever you might change that to. It's going to bring it to you here as soon as that's loading. Okay, almost there. Okay, and then we would paste that in. So now, as you can see, we've moved it over. We can rechange the box title again, and we would hit Save Changes. From there, we would be able to come over here and look at Welcome, and we'd see those changes there. I'm not going to save it because I don't have the images uploaded, as well as the text isn't changed around or anything like that. It's going to look the exact same as this, but it would just be framed up to fit in here. It works perfectly with the maximum amount of width that you're allowed within a custom tab, as well as it's got that nice framed border on it, which is just 1 pixel, so that it sets it apart from the rest of the content that you have going on in here. You could even change the color from, right now it's black, to this same blue lining that you see here, so that it really looks like it blends into Facebook. So that's entirely up to you. So you know, decide what you will with that. At this point, we're completely done through the template. I'm glad you guys made it through it with all the coding and stuff. And so in the next video, we're going to go over changing some of the default options, getting this new Welcome tab that we have uploaded now set as our default landing tab within Facebook, and then we're going to go over how to link up different social media accounts together, so that when you post on one of them, that content is being syndicated across the entire bunch. So sit tight, and we'll see you in the next video.